right. Welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. And I am Shanrae. I do not own the rights to this music. Welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. And I am Shanrae. We're going to listen to this for a minute. And then we're going to go on and get started. But welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. As you come in, please like and share. And we are on part 2 of our series on the 3 components of emotions. Hello, Devonta Williams. Hello, Benjamin. Hello, Audrey. How are you? All right, we're going to get started. Welcome to Counsel Today with Shanrae, and I am Shanrae. All right, and the theme song is Emotions by Mariah Carey. I do not own the rights to the song, but it's the theme song. It's our theme for this month. All right. And that's it. Good evening, and welcome to Counsel Today with Shanrae. And I am Shanrae. So good to see you all on this evening. And we are back for the month of August. Our series, this is series 5, and we are talking about the 3 components of emotions this month. Okay, so good. I'm glad to see that you're okay, Audrey. And we're going to go on and get started. I want to read my disclaimer because this 30 minutes is going to come and go by very, very quickly. All righty then. So please be aware that due to the nature of our technology that I am using, there can be no assurance of confidentiality when using this online service. It should be also noted that due to changes in policies that all replies are to be used as advisory and informational only, and will not constitute an official determination. So information provided by myself or any other counselor or a spiritual leader or someone with life experience are subject to the limitations of current and available material. And the final responsibility for successfully achieving a goal rests with you, the client, or the individual, excuse me. So information online is designed to be helpful. However, this information does change frequently, and it is recommended that you, the individual, will consult another physician, another specialist, or a religious leader to aid in your overall behavioral wellness. So once again, welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. And again, this month, this series that we're talking about are the 3 components of our emotions. And we are on part 2 of week 1. Thank you for coming in and being with us on Tuesday night. And then on tonight, we are finishing up with this week's topic. So I am going to start with our scripture for this month. Hi, Jose. How are you? Hey, do. And so our scripture for the month is Romans 12:2, and I am reading from the Amplified Bible version. And it says, "And do not be conformed to this world any longer with its superficial values and customs, but be transformed and progressively changed as you mature spiritually by the renewing of your mind, which is focusing on godly values and ethical attitudes, so that you may prove for yourself what the will of God is, that which is good and acceptable and perfect in his plan and purpose for you." All righty then. So again, that was Romans 12:2, the Amplified Bible version. I am a Christian counselor. I am a degree counselor, and my degrees come from Ashford University. Again, I'm so glad to see you all on tonight. Hi, Jackie. How are you? Hi, Kim Upchurch. How are you? This is an open platform, so I do like interaction. Feel free to chime in if there's something that you want to share with the audience, like through life experience. So this 30 minutes is going by quick, so we're going to go on and we're going to get started. You all know that I always do give you a definition of what I am talking about. So I'm going to give you the definition of emotions once again. It is a plural noun. And emotions are a natural, instinctive state of mind deriving from one's circumstances, either from your mood or from your relationship with someone else. And so tonight we are going to break down the 8 core emotions. Now, I introduced them on Tuesday night. Tonight we're going to break them down, and we're going to get to the nitty-gritty of this. And the reason why I decided to do a teaching, a monthly teaching on emotions, is because there is so much going on. Our emotions really are what drives people to respond, to do what they do, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. As we see in the news, a lot of people whose emotions are disturbed or just on an extra high. We see a lot of violent acts that's been occurring due to emotional instability. So I wanted to zone in and hone in on emotions to maybe kind of help us better understand maybe our triggers, certain things we can start recognizing. So once we start recognizing certain things, we can actually kind of walk it through our minds how we can respond or react, how we can react or something, or respond to maybe something that's unexpected or whatever. So I want to zone in or hone in on our 8 core emotions, and we're going to break them down a little bit, and then we're going to talk about some life things. So again, our 8 core emotions are trust, acceptance, anger, anticipation, disgust, joy, fear, sadness, and all of that. So again, tonight we're going to get a better understanding of our 8 core emotions. We're going to start with trust. Now, trust is broken down into two other entities under trust. Under trust, we have, hi Nathaniel, how are you? Under trust, we have acceptance and admiration. That's actually held as a category up under trusting someone. So trusting, again, is one of our first core emotions. And acceptance, or the action of connecting or consenting to receive or undertake something offered. All right, so acceptance is categorized up under trust. And admiration is also another categorization up under trust. Admiration is defined as respect and warm approval. Now, we know a lot of people. We know, hey, Superwoman, how are you? We know a lot of people that have trust issues. And even with me, I don't have trust issues, but I don't readily available totally 100% trust everybody. And I mean, I don't even know anyone who 100% trusts anyone, or it doesn't matter who they are. But trust is a universal thing. It is a major part of our world. Trusting. Nathaniel says, I'm good. How is everything going on your end? Everything is great, Nathaniel. Thank you. I am so glad to see that Superwoman is here and waving. I missed you, Superwoman. Missed you. And please chime in. So trust is one of our first 8 core emotions. And again, acceptance and admiration falls up under the category of trust. Yes, I think that we can accept people or even accept situations a little bit quicker under the trust category, and admire. Like I admire my mom. I've always admired my mom, not because she's my mom, but because I've watched my mother throughout my lifetime. I'm almost 50. But I have an admiration for my mother because I've watched her as a single woman, as a single mom, and it was not, my father died when we was younger, when we were very young. I was 11 going on 12, and I'm the oldest of her 3 girls. And so my mom was a very young widow. But I have an admiration for my mother because I've watched how she raised us. She raised us as a single woman, forced into being a single woman, and she just did everything that she knew to do as a single mother to raise us very well, to teach us well. And I have a strong admiration for my mother due to the things that I've watched her do. How and even now, hey Vincent, how are you? And so acceptance. Acceptance, I accept a lot of things, good, bad, or indifference, which falls up under that trust umbrella. And so there's a lot of things that we have to accept that we may not totally like. Let me give you an example. In life, a lot of times we have our we have our the way that we imagine, let's say, marriage is supposed to be. And anyone that knows anybody, when you have two people that are coming together and they have a foundation that's a little rocky, because nobody comes from a perfect background, but they have a rocky foundation, and so they're bringing certain things, good, bad, and indifferent, into their new world, and then they're raising their children. There are certain things that we may have to learn how to accept, although we are hoping for something, a different thing, but there's some things we may have to learn how to accept for that time, at that time in your life. So acceptance and admiration falls up under that trust window. We're going to move to number two. Number two, out of our 8 core emotions, is anger. Now, this is something that we see very, 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 very often. Hey, Gary. Hi, Luana. Hi, Sherry. Anger is something that we're seeing more often than not. And so under the anger umbrella, you have rage and annoyance. That's up under that anger umbrella. So rage is defined as violent and uncontrollable anger. And the other night, it slipped my mind. We had one person that asked me to further explain about anger. And so I am on this evening. Under the anger umbrella, rage and annoyance is that's right up under that category. So annoyance is the feeling or state of being annoyed or irritated. That falls up under anger. And I'm going to add frustration. Now, I'm going to add frustration because that feeling of frustration, it goes right hand in hand with annoyance. So up under anger, which is the second core emotion that everybody feels, is anger. But controlling that rage part of that anger, that violent, that uncontrollable anger, it is imperative that we learn how to control that part of our anger. Annoyance, that's more readily acceptable. I miss you too, Gary. That annoyance, that's a normal, common part of anger. You get annoyed at somebody that continues to do the same negative thing over and over again, and you're trying to understand. For instance, you hear a lot of couples, and I zone in on marriage couples because that's a very intimate way to live with somebody. When you're living with a spouse, that's a very close-knit type of thing. So you got the good, bad, and the indifferent that comes along with that type of relationship. But that annoyance, I've heard a lot of friends talk about, they get annoyed at their spouse when they go in the bathroom and just take their clothes off and throw them on the floor, and there's a hamper there, and they just insist on putting the clothes on the floor rather than putting it in the hamper. So that they're annoyed by that behavior. They're annoyed. Annoyance is a normal part of anger, but that rage is not normal. And so if we can kind of hone in and zone in on that rage, that violent, that uncontrollable anger, where you just black out. I've heard people just say that they black out. I've actually experienced blacking out, and I'm telling you, that is a scary, scary feeling when you black out and you just that angry, and then when you come back to yourself, it's like, oh my God, what did I do? So we're going to be zoning in on these triggers, these different things this month to try to help us better control these different states of our emotions. And again, we have different categories that fall up under these emotions. So anger, you have rage, you have annoyance, and I'm adding frustration. That's up under the umbrella of anger. So that's the second core emotion. The third core emotion is anticipation. Anticipation, and we talked about that on Tuesday. So the two things that fall up under the anticipation umbrella is vigilance and interest. So vigilance is defined as the action or state of keeping careful watch for possible danger or difficulty. So that's vigilance. So you're keeping careful watch out for possible danger or difficulties. That's vigilance. And interest is the state of wanting to know or wanting to learn about something or someone. I have an interest in learning how to crochet, or I have an interest in this person, I should say, interest in Oprah Winfrey, because she had a #1 talk show for years and years and years, and actually they're asking her to come back now. I have a very, very intense interest in Oprah Winfrey because she is top notch when it comes to talk shows. So under the umbrella of anticipation, which is the third core emotion that everybody has, is vigilance, again, which is a state of keeping careful watch out for possible danger or difficulty, or interest. You either wanting to know or learn about something or someone else a little bit better. So number 3, the third core emotion is anticipation. Up under that umbrella is vigilance and interest. Number 4, the fourth core emotion is disgust. All right, and so I defined that on Tuesday, what disgust is. But under the umbrella of disgust is loathing and boredom. I'm not sure how they got boredom out of disgust, but yeah, I get it. I get it. So the definition for loathing is a feeling of intense dislike or disgust or hatred. Wow. And then the definition for boredom is the state of feeling bored or a lack of interest in one's current activity. So under disgust, like, if someone is constantly repeating the same life issue over and over and over again, they can sit there and say, I'm just disgusted. I'm just done with the entire thing. Just stick a fork in me. I'm done. That type of disgust, which is either loathe, that's more like a loathing type of thing. Like I just strongly dislike this whole situation. I don't like to say hatred or anything like that, but just dislike or just disgusted, period. And then boredom, I can see how somebody gets bored with the same situation over and over again. Like, you just like, okay, I have no interest in this at all. I'm just done. All right. So disgust is our fourth core emotion. And under disgust, the umbrella of disgust, loathing and boredom are two of the categories that fall up under disgust. All right. So I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth emotion is joy. Joy, I defined that on Tuesday. And the two things that fall up under the joy umbrella is serenity and ecstasy. So serenity, the definition for serenity is the state of being calm, peaceful, and untroubled. And I like that feeling, that serenity feeling, that joy, that serenity feeling. Ecstasy, the definition for that is an overwhelming feeling of great happiness or joyful excitement. Ecstasy, I love that feeling too. So those are the two things that fall up under the joy emotion, serenity and ecstasy. And I know that we can use more of that on a daily dosage of these, serenity and ecstasy in our lives. So joy is the fifth core emotion, and under that umbrella, serenity and ecstasy falls up under that. Hey, Shell. Hi, Shell. All right. So number 6 is fear. Fear is that's the sixth core emotion that everybody, universally, everyone has felt fear once or twice in their life, or more than that. Okay. So under fear, terror and apprehension falls up under that umbrella of fear. So terror is defined as extreme fear, and apprehension is defined as anxiety or fear that something bad or unpleasant will happen. And so again, fear is our, let me count, because I don't want to get up. 6, 7. Okay, that's our 6. Fear is our 6th core emotion, and terror and apprehension falls up under that fear umbrella. Apprehension is something that's normal, but when it's too much, when that apprehension is just over excessive, then we're going into like more of an anxiety type thing, and that's an overkill. And that's something that we're going to learn how to kind of zone in on, and then try to when we start feeling these are just trying to zone away from it and kind of retrain our brain to get up off of this. No one should live in terror. No one should live in fear all the time. Now, fear again is a part of life where certain things unexpected or expected can happens, and then but it's a temporary. Remember, these should be temporary feelings, temporary emotions. So fear is our number 6 core emotion, and terror and apprehension falls up under the umbrella with that. Okay, our 7th core emotion is sadness. So sadness, that was defined Tuesday night. The 2 things that are that fall up under sadness umbrella is grief and pensiveness. So grief is defined as deep sorrow, especially that's caused by someone's death or trouble or annoyance. And pensiveness is defined as engaged in, involving, or reflecting deep or serious thought. Like you just always in deep thought, just really, really, deep, just deep thought. So number 7, our 7th core emotion is sadness, and what falls up under that umbrella is grief and pensiveness. Again, someone that's constantly too much, that's grieving too much, that you've got to go and you've got to speak to a professional. You've got to go and speak to a spiritual leader. You have to find ways to try to retrain your brain to get off of this grief. If it's constantly feeling these type of emotions, that is not healthy. Even pensiveness, when you're constantly engaged and you're overthinking and different things like that, we have to relax. We have to experience joy and laughter and happiness at least every day. Everyone should feel this every day of their lives. I don't care if it's just for a few hours. No one should constantly be like an overdrive, with these negative type of emotions. Okay, and number 8. Hey Cecil, how are you? Number 8 is surprise. So surprise is our 8th core emotion. All right, and so under this umbrella, there are 3 different things that fall up under the surprise umbrella. So that's amazement, that's distraction, and confusion. So the definition for amazement is a feeling of great surprise or wonder. The definition for distraction is a thing that prevents someone from giving full attention to something else. And confusion is a lack of understanding, uncertainty. For example, there seems to be some confusion about where to go or something. Unsure, you're unsure, indecisive, hesitation, something like that. So under that 8th core emotion, surprise, we have amazement, which is a feeling of great surprise or wonder. Distraction, a thing that prevents someone from giving their full attention to something else, or confusion, which is a lack of understanding. All right, so I want to get on this. I'm trying to see here. And again, we're going to delve more into this throughout the month, but I want to give us a better understanding of our emotions. These are universal. Everybody, don't feel like you're the only one that's having these different experiencing these emotions. Everybody has these same emotions. We go through these in life. It's just zoning in on them. If we have excessive anger or something like that, we're going to zone in on it and we're going to overcome, because this is what it's about, us overcoming and getting to just leading a healthy, happy life. So how does it anxiety, which falls up under the fear, that fear type of umbrella, how does anxiety short circuit the decision-making process? So reducing anxiety is especially important during a chaotic situation or chaotic times when you're feeling overwhelmed, or that your life is out of control. So during times of distress, the latest research shows that people are likely to make poor decisions, which can exacerbate anxiety, or can lead to more bad decisions, and then snowball into a downward spiral. And there are a lot of people that have, just reacted out of a just like some type of situation that just happened, and they wish that they made a better choice. And some people have even landed in jail because of, you know, this type of reaction, you know, because it's hard to make a proper decision when you're up under stress, or if your emotions are out of control. So decision making is in the locus of your control. We all have the power to break patterns of behavior simply by making better decisions. But this is often easier said than done. Okay, hey Neva, how are you? Even when you're stuck in a cycle of like a rut-like thinking and a rut-like behavior, a change of attitude and decision making can turn your life totally around. And this new study shows that reducing anxiety levels, it is the first step to starting a life-changing domino effect that empowers you to perpetually make better choices. Remember, okay, so this is one thing that you can do during an unexpected occurrence in your life. Start taking a few deep breaths. And this will instantly activate your sympathetic nervous system, your PNS nervous system, and which slows down your heart rate. When you start taking deep breaths, it's going to slow down your heart rate. It's going to lower your blood pressure, and it's going to put you in a calmer state of mind. So if you start breathing from your diaphragm, this is always going to be the first step to making the first line of defense for making a better decision. And this is a good way to combat anxiety. So if you ever find yourself in an overstimulating type and stressful situation that requires a rapid fire decision, the best thing to do is to remember just to slow down. Take a minute, slow down. Like when you hear people say, I'm going to take a beat. Slow it down. Take a few deep breaths before you make a decision, or before you plan something, or you plan your course of action. And this new research from Theological, hey Ricardo, from Dr. Pitt, gives us better understanding of the specific brain mechanisms behind anxiety and your decision-making patterns. So from a clinical perspective, this could lead, taking a beat, and you're breathing in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. This could lead to better treatments. This could lead to interventions and better outcomes, and for a wide range of psychiatric and addictive disorders. So listen, don't be afraid, or don't be ashamed to just stop and breathe if something unexpected happens. The worst thing somebody could do is just laugh or talk about, did you see the way they stopped and took a breath? Rather stop and take a breath than react the wrong way and do something the wrong way, and then cause a decision or cause a life-changing alternate event that you may not be able to fix. So the worst thing anybody can do is just say, point or laugh, or just say, look, did you see the way he stopped and took a breath? Who cares? Who cares? If it's going to help you kind of, make a better decision, then do it. Do it. I want to share this with you before our time is up. I read a lot of Daily Breads, and Dr. Charles Stanley. Some of you all are familiar with Dr. Charles Stanley. He comes on television. His son comes on too, as well. But he shared some key advice, and it says, too much introspection into your problems and weaknesses can cause you to become ingrown. So let me define introspection. And let me spell it first. Introspection is INTROSPECTION, introspection. And the definition for that is the examination or observation of one's own mental and emotional processes. So he says that I love him too, Neva. He says that too much introspection into your own problems or your own weaknesses can cause you to become ingrown. And so if you ever had an ingrown hair or ingrown toenail, You know how just a small ingrown element of your physical body can cause a lot of pain. I have ingrown toenails and trust. It hurts. You can't even hardly forget putting shoes on. When you put the blanket over your feet at night, it hurts. Even that hurts. So this same principle applies to you naturally, spiritually, and emotional. That part of your life. You can turn inward and over time cause great damage to yourself. If somebody turns inwardly, you're going to eventually start causing damage to your own self, all in the name of trying to know yourself or you know, that way, or protect yourself. So the best cure for many emotional difficulties is to turn outward and start to start giving to other people, to take your mind off of you. You know, free your mind, take your mind off of your problems and stuff, and start helping other people. You may say, but I don't have anything to give. And he stated here that everybody has something to give, even if it's a smile. And I say that all the time. A smile, when you smile at somebody, you don't know how you just lifted somebody. You just made them feel better. A smile is still given to somebody else. A kind word, give a kind word to somebody, or you pat somebody on the shoulder in a time of need, that's giving. So sometimes just your presence alone can be a gift to somebody, especially to those who are lonely or people who are grieving or suffering with long-standing illnesses. The happiest people, he said, that he know, and the happiest people that I know are those who have a wide open heart and who give generously to others. And again, we're not talking about money or anything like, but just giving a little bit, a little kindness to somebody else. Such individuals are totally secure in God's love and give without expecting anything in return. And again, we're just talking about kindness here. With kindness, and of course the Bible says you reap what you sow, and I'm a firm believer in that. If you sow kindness, you're going to reap kindness. Okay. So God will see your heart, and he sees what you do, and he will reward you accordingly. So trust him, and then take care of yourself. So by giving freely and generously, you open up yourself. This open stance before God and other people is important to emotional health. To your emotional health. It is only as you open yourself that you learn to trust, and being able to trust is vital to your ability to receive God's forgiveness for yourself, his healing for yourself, and to believing that God will supply all of your needs. So Matthew 10:8 says, to heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the lepers, and cast out demons. Freely you received and freely you give. So what he means by this is when you do, there is an evangelist out there by the name of Mark Shell. Look him up. M-A-R-K Shell, S-H-E-L-L. Mark Shell, oh my gosh, I love his teachings. And one thing he says, and I love the way he defines this. He said, if you're in need of something, if you're in need of healing, he always says, go heal somebody else. And once I learned about that years ago, I put that in practice into my own life, and I teach people to do the same thing. If you're in need of healing, go heal somebody else. As the Lord leads you, go and sow love and kindness into somebody else, and watch God do that for you. So again, our time is up for tonight. Does anybody have anything that they want to share on tonight with anybody else concerning this? And again, we just had to get to the nitty-gritty about our 8 core emotions, and we defined those. Next week, we're going to break it down. We're going to start talking about the emotional part of it, the behavioral part of it, the cognitive part of it. But it is important to first get that foundation in order to move on. You can't skip over foundation before you get down to the nitty gritty and say, you know what, I'm going to take this and I'm going to run and I'm going to be a better person. So Does anyone have anything that they want to share on tonight before we end it? Because our 30 minutes is up. This time comes and goes. And I so appreciate you all. I enjoy doing this. This is what God gave me to do. And I'm going to do it until the Lord says something else. And y'all can go back in and read the notes. I do, on a personal note, if you are interested in professional one-on-one counseling services, feel free to contact me via Facebook Messenger or at my email. My personal is shanrae@gmail.com, and I am a lifestyle strategist, and my aim is to aid you in reaching your life goals or your life dreams or interests. Okay, so God bless you all. Good night. Our time is up. Yes, our time is up. Oh my gosh. I didn't even hear the timer go off. We're going to end it with Mariah Carey's Emotions. I do not own the right to this song. I do not own the right to this song. Uh-oh. Let me see something. It looks like my speaker went down. Okay. I hope y'all can hear me. I hope you all can hear me. Okay, my speakers and came back on. All right. I do not own the rights to the song. I'll see y'all next Tuesday and Thursday. God bless y'all. And this is Counsel of the Day with Shanrae, and I am Shanrae. God bless you guys.